My name is Janice Donaldson, and I'm the Regional Director of the Florida Small Business Development Center. Today we're going to be talking about testing the market. In your efforts to start your new business, you have a great idea, but will it work? Do you have a market need that you can fill? Can you make the money that you want doing that particular type of business? So let's talk a little bit about how you can make sure that your idea is feasible and that it will be profitable. In order to do that, you'll need to do some research. You'll need to learn everything you can about the industry, the competition, and your target market. Right here on the slide, you'll see that there are some websites that will be very helpful to you in researching the industry, the competition, and your target market. The internet can be both a blessing and a curse. Most of you know that when you look for something on the internet, often you'll find way more information than you really want or need. So these websites should help you to narrow down the information and help you make smarter decisions about the industry, the competition, and your target market. So let's talk a little bit in detail about each of these three areas. Number one, let's look at the industry. You'll need to do an analysis of what's going on in the industry. And you have to start with, do you know what industry your business, your new business, will be operating in? Do you know your NAICS code? That's NAICS. Every business falls into an industry and is classified by that NAICS code. So it can be helpful to you in doing your market research if you know what that code is for your specific type of business. So what do we need to know about the industry before we can jump right into starting our business? Number one, we need to know what is the current situation in the industry. What's the size of the industry in terms of sales? What's the projected growth of the industry in the future? And what are the barriers to entry? And by barriers to entry, I mean, what could keep a business from starting in that particular industry? Maybe it's government regulation. Maybe it's licenses or certifications that you would be required to have that are difficult to obtain. Maybe it's location that could be a barrier. Or perhaps just the amount of money needed to get into that particular type of business. Then you could look at the trends in the industry. What's happening in the marketplace that could affect this particular business? Consumer trends. We all know about the trend toward the aging population. We know about the importance and the popularity of green businesses and sustainability. How does technology impact your business? Technology might actually make your business obsolete, or technology could be a big opportunity for your firm. So how does technology play into your industry? And then operations. What are trends in operations and in marketing your particular product or service that might be a strength or a weakness, an opportunity or a threat for your business? Obviously, social media has become big business and might have an impact on how you market your business or how you can get that word out. And then let's look at the competition. Is the market already saturated? Are there so many competitors that there might not be a place for your new business? And something to think about also is the competition local, regional, national, global? So something to consider in evaluating your industry. And then profit potential. What's the profit potential? A lot of firms come to the Small Business Development Center and they say, oh, here are my projections. I'm projecting a 20% average profit margin. That's your bottom line. That's what's left over at the end after you pay all of your costs and expenses. Well, if the average in the industry is 2% and you're projecting 20%, something is probably wrong with that picture. So you should know the average profit margin for your particular industry. And what are the costs and expenses involved? What kind of sales volume can you expect in the business? How will you price your product or service? So all the things that you should be considering in looking at the industry and testing the market. So let's talk a little bit about your competition. A lot of times business owners will come in, potential business owners, and they'll say, well, I'm lucky because I don't have any competition. They'll say, I'm lucky because no one else is doing what I want to do. Well, here's something to think about. There might be a reason that no one else is doing what it is that you want to do. Is there a need, and can you make money? Competition is really proof of market demand. So if there are no competitors, that might mean you need to take a hard look at what it is that you're about to do. So if you can just find the strengths and weaknesses of your top 5 competitors, not everybody in the market that's doing something similar to what you want to do, but the really top competitors that you think you'll have. And remember, they might not be local, they might be global. So sometimes you have to expand that research beyond just the street next door. So these are just some examples of some things that you could look at for strengths and weaknesses. You might have your own list based on the kind of business you're planning to start, quality of your product or service, financial resources, costs, price, brand, reputation, their capacity to deliver the product or service. These could all be strengths or weaknesses of your competition. And then you have to have the honesty to compare your own strengths and weaknesses of your new company against your competition. One of the things to remember is, how will you find this information? What is your competition doing right, and what are they doing wrong? Well, you're going to have to do some market research. And this is not necessarily something you'll find on the internet, although you can do market research by looking at your competition, looking at their websites, looking at any advertising they might have, going to trade shows and picking up their brochure, calling them on the phone. That's really one of the best ways, is to be a mystery shopper, to be a typical customer and find out what is your competition really doing right and what are they doing wrong. So important that you know that and you take a hard look at your competition. Now let's look at our target customer. When we're testing the market, we have to know who is going to buy my product or service. Who would be my perfect customer? Will it be an individual consumer or a business? And then I have to define that target market. And most businesses use demographics, psychographics, geography, and the benefits sought to define their target market. So let's just talk about those a little bit. What are examples of demographics? It might be the age of your target market, the gender, the race or ethnicity. It might be where they are geographically, as you'll see below. So demographics can come into play. What kind of job do they have, their education level, all kinds of things. And what you're looking for are characteristics that your target market have in common. Psychographics might be the interests or hobbies or passions of your target market. So maybe you're selling sailing equipment, so you're looking for people who like sailing. Maybe you're selling cameras and you're looking for people who like photography. It could be that interest or hobby that binds your target market together. Or it could be benefits sought. And I just want to make a point here, because this is sometimes an area of confusion for a lot of new business owners. There's a big difference between features and benefits. Features are the actual features of your product or service, and benefits are what your customers are looking for when they buy that product or service. What problem are they trying to solve? So if you're a residential cleaning business, the features of your service might be that you do deep cleaning of the carpets, that you change the linens, that you do the laundry, that you wash the dishes, whatever that might be. But the benefit that your potential customers are looking for is a clean house. They're looking to save time. They're looking for convenience. So that is really what they're buying, a solution to their problem of a dirty house. So something to think about when you look at your target market and you define those benefits. And then, how many potential customers are in the market area? And this is where census.gov, the website that was on the first slide, can be helpful, particularly if you're selling to individual consumers. There's another great source of information called Reference USA, and it lists businesses. So if you're selling business to business, you could use that to look at your competition or to find a leads list if you're selling to other businesses. And Reference USA is available in most public libraries or through your Florida SBDC consultant. And last but not least, once you know your target market and you know your competition and you know what's going on in the industry, then you have to come up with your own compelling competitive advantage. What will you do in your business that will set you apart from all the rest? It has to be something your target market cares about, or it's not a competitive advantage. It has to be something that your competition's not doing or is doing poorly. And then you make that your own, your differentiating factor, the things that make you different from your competition and appeal to your target market. So the statistics show that in a brand new business, you have to be 2 times better than your competition or half the price. So if it were me, I'd want to be 2 times better because I think I could get a much better profit out of that than half the price of my competition. If you would like further information on testing the market, you can contact the Florida SBDC, and you might also reference your startup kit that could be helpful to you in finding further information on these targeted areas. Thank you.